We also have to recognize that the Klamath River dams in the Klamath system is kind of a unique system. It doesn't really compare perfectly to other dam removal situations. So the Klamath is an upside-down river. It has very warm and low-quality water above these dams. That makes it hard to understand how these fish would actually migrate into those areas. So even if we remove the dams, the low-quality water, high-temperature water above the dams makes it pretty unlikely that the fish would actually thrive in those environments. Also, I know climate change might not be something you want to hear about, but there are temperature increases going on, and those aren't being even projected into the dam removal scenario. So temperatures probably will just continue to increase in the upper basin. So it's a little bit different, but we can learn about some of the sediment issues. There's a huge amount of sediments behind these dams, and the current idea is to just let all those sediments wash down the river. 20 million cubic yards are behind the dams. We think they're pretty toxic because of the low water quality above the dams. And it's projected, even Interior projects, that these will continue to wash down the river for many years. And that is likely to completely decimate the fisheries below the dams for at least 2 years, but most likely longer.
I don't know if you're familiar with the geoengineering that's being done with spraying and aerosols in our skies, but I understand that that's had the effect of, which is being done to fight global warming. So, and it does, in essence, lower what it does is put up an aerosol, a bank of aerosol that absorbs light from the sun and therefore decreases the temperature on the surface. The point here is that what they're dumping in the aerosols is changing the pH of the soil. It's causing underground water to migrate in locations. And has any of this been factored in what's going on with the fish and the water in the Klamath River? Has anybody even looked at it?
I'm actually not an expert in that area. I haven't heard of anybody looking into that topic.
Do you know about sustainable development?
Yes, I know about sustainable development.
You know what's unsustainable?
What's unsustainable?
Dams. I can tell you a little bit more after a while.
Okay.
A whole lot more.
Thank you, Nita. Yes, Derek.
So what can a group like us do to help you in your research or trying to find support for your research or your new career path?
I'm getting asked that question a fair amount, and I don't have a great answer for you. I have been a little bit cautious about taking donations, and I appreciate the support for the travel. But I'm not trying to get rich on this. I'm trying to make a difference. And so I'm a little bit hesitant about getting involved financially with this, help. So right now I don't have any conflicts of interest with the companies involved or the entities involved in Siskiyou and the Klamath Basin area. I haven't done any substantial funded research in this area. So I'm not exactly sure how I want to stay clean. I don't want to have taint my reputation by taking donations for a certain cause. But I think that we can make a difference. I think that by communicating these concerns, making sure people know, especially about the scientific integrity issues. And like I said, I'm not necessarily talking about sustainability or whether or not dams are the perfect long-term solution. I'm talking about we want to have science that we can trust to make good decisions, and that we can trust our leaders to make those good decisions based on good science. So I don't think that's the case here. And how can we go forward? How can we get our elected officials and decision makers to take that seriously? I think we have to recognize they're serving us. We have to find a way to get them to pay attention. We have to raise enough awareness in the public to show that these are real issues.
Tonight in the paper here in town was the statement, wolf recovery. We lived in Montana when the wolves were brought in, and for many years after that, and we know what happened there. Is there any reason that we should doubt the science of the wolf recovery in the light of the fact that 75% of the elk have been killed and that farmers are going out of business with $60,000 worth of loss in livestock and livestock gain? And then we could also pursue the question of the spotted owl. And then we could ask, why are we having all of these animals put on endangered species to depopulate, to get wild rivers? Is there another agenda behind the wild rivers?
Yes.
I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories. But I am going to acknowledge that there are things that don't make sense that are happening. For example, we're thinking about taking out these 4 hydro dams on the Klamath. At the same time, California as a whole has major water issues that need to be addressed. And the senators in California have actually been calling for plans for increasing storage and increasing water security within the state. So we get some incongruous messages here. We're looking at, the government is seriously considering raising Shasta, at the same time taking out the dams. It doesn't make sense. Why would you, pursue these 2 agendas? It's clear that in the future we're going to need more ways to deal with water security. And despite the comment on dams sustainability, dams were a good idea in terms of storing water from wet years to use in dry years. And that idea doesn't go away. In fact, it increases with time as populations increase. Climate change may increase that. There's all kinds of reasons why we need to have a symbiotic relationship with nature where we can live with nature, but also find a way to help nature to thrive. And I think we can find those solutions if we ask the questions correctly and do the right kind of science.
Okay, I'm an alarmist, but I just wonder, while you were working in the government, if you saw any influence from the UN over any of these projects, and because this looks like to me that maybe it's not, but this West Coast thing looks like Agenda 21.
I didn't do any work with the UN during my time at Reclamation.
Did you talk with Greg Walden at all? He is the congressman for the 2nd District in Oregon, which most of the dams are in.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard I haven't heard directly from any U.S. congresspeople.
Okay, the other question I have is, my understanding is the most cost-effective energy that we have going is hydroelectric.
That's true.
And yet, that's what they want to get rid of.
Right. Hydro is interesting because the government is pursuing a renewable energy agenda in terms of wind, solar, geothermal, and for the most part, hydro is left out of that. So hydro, if you even learn from grade school science, is a renewable source of energy. So it actually is a unique one that works well with those others, because hydro you can turn on and off whenever you want, whereas the wind and the sun you can't. So you can actually use hydro as a way to enhance the other renewable energy that's being put in so aggressively.